In today's video, we will talk about what happened when I woke up at 5 a.m. for 30 consecutive days. But before that, make sure to subscribe so you can get a notification whenever I post a new video. Now let's begin. First few days, absolutely terrible. Waking up at 5 a.m. when your body is used to waking up at 7 or 8 a.m. is incredibly difficult. The first thing I noticed is that I was very tired throughout the day. When you wake up early, your body needs more rest. However, going to bed early isn't an option because you still need those few hours of nighttime productivity. As a result, I was having trouble focusing during the day and completing my tasks. Another thing I noticed is that I hit the snooze button a lot. If you have ever tried waking up early, you know how tempting the snooze button is. So even if I managed to wake up at 5 a.m., most days I ended up sleeping until 5:30 or even 6 a.m. It took me almost a week to get used to waking up at 5 a.m. By the end of the first week, my energy levels stabilized and my mornings started to feel better. Of course, there were still mornings when I really wanted to hit the snooze button, but I knew that once I got out of bed, the rest of the day would go smoothly. Another thing that improved was my mental clarity. I found that I was less stressed, more focused, and had fewer distractions. Part of it may be due to the fact that everyone around me was still asleep, so there were no distractions from TV, family, friends, or social media. This gave me time to think and plan my day without any interruptions. Additionally, since I was getting more sleep, I felt refreshed and energized, which helped me focus on my tasks. The next thing that happened was a boost in productivity. According to a study by the Society for Research in Child Development, people who wake up early tend to be more productive than those who wake up later. That's because they have more time to complete their tasks before the rest of the world wakes up. I found that I had at least 2 extra hours every morning to work on my projects, read, work out, or simply relax. This extra time allowed me to accomplish more than I had ever done before. For example, I would wake up early, start working on my business, and by the time everyone else was starting their day, I had already completed several tasks. This gave me a sense of satisfaction and motivation to keep going. In terms of lifestyle changes, there are a few things worth mentioning. First, I went to bed earlier. It was impossible for me to stay up late and wake up at 5 a.m., so naturally I started going to bed earlier as well. Second, I stopped scrolling through social media late at night. Before waking up at 5 a.m., I would often find myself scrolling through social media until 2 or 3 in the morning. However, once I started waking up early, I realized that this habit was preventing me from getting enough sleep. As a result, I stopped scrolling at night and instead read a book or listened to music. Finally, my social life was impacted. Waking up at 5 a.m. made it difficult for me to hang out with friends and family in the evenings. Most of my social activities took place during the weekdays, and since I prefer to go to bed early, I couldn't stay out late. On the weekends, however, I was able to sleep in a little bit later and still enjoy my social life. Even though my mornings were going well, there were still some tough days. Every now and then I would feel exhausted throughout the day and struggle to stay awake. This usually happened when I didn't get enough sleep the night before, or when I had a particularly busy day. I also found that the weekends were the hardest days to wake up early. On Friday nights, I would often stay up late to watch a movie or catch up with friends. As a result, I would struggle to wake up early on Saturday mornings, and once my sleep schedule was off, it would take me several days to get back on track. So what were the final results? After 30 days of waking up at 5 a.m., I felt like a completely different person. My mood was better, my discipline was stronger, and my productivity was through the roof. But I want to be clear that waking up at 5 a.m. is not a magic fix for all of your problems. There were still bad days, but overall the experience was extremely positive. Now let's talk about the 3 main things that happened during the 30 days. First, my mood was definitely better. I found myself smiling and laughing more often and feeling more positive about the future. Second, my discipline was much stronger. Waking up at 5 a.m. every day required a lot of self-discipline, and once I developed that habit, I found it easier to stick to my goals and resist temptations. For example, I was able to resist the temptation to snack mindlessly when I was hungry and instead wait until meal times to eat. I also avoided getting distracted by social media and other websites when I should be working. Third, my productivity skyrocketed. Like I mentioned before, I had more time to work on my projects and accomplish more than I had ever done before. Additionally, waking up early helped me focus and be more productive during the day. This is because I wasn't feeling rushed or stressed in the morning, which is often the case when we wake up early in the morning. We can take our time to get ready without feeling like we are wasting precious minutes that could be spent on other things. This allows us to start our day feeling calm and focused, which makes us more productive throughout the day. As you can see, there are many benefits to waking up at 5 a.m. But it is important to remember that it is not a magic fix. You still need to put in the work and effort to achieve your goals. However, if you are willing to commit to waking up at 5 a.m. for at least 30 days, I believe that you will see positive changes in your life as well. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to share this video with your friends if you enjoyed it. Until next time.